So recently I just hit 900 days PMO free. That means porn, masturbation, orgasm. So I haven't watched porn 900 days. I haven't masturbated in 900 days. I haven't had sex in 900 days. A lot of people ask me, was this worth it? Is the struggle of going through the recovery process of getting free from porn and masturbation worth it? Is delaying your gratification and not giving into your lust worth it? And I wanted to go over that within this video and explain to you a little bit more on how my life has changed as I've quit PMO, right? As I've gone through this journey of celibacy. And it was crazy because I was explaining this to my barber not too like long ago. I think it was like a couple of days ago. And he was asking me like, so you've been a virgin for 2 years, 2.5 years? And I'm like, yeah, you can kind of say that, right? And he was just shocked because he's like, who would do that voluntarily, right? And I think there's just a lot of misconceptions that go into abstaining from PMO. And I don't think a lot of people really know what it really is like to be free from your lust. And, you know, it's a sad thing to say, but most people will die being a slave to their lust. You know, most people will die not knowing what true freedom is. So I wanted to go over that within this video. And firstly, I wanted to go over really quickly on how my life looked like before me getting away from PMO. And I want to take you all the way back 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, I was not the same as I am right now, man. You know, I would not be recording YouTube like at all. I would not be making content helping people quit PMO. I would be smoking weed pretty much every single day. I'd be drinking every other day, pretty much getting drunk and hanging out with the wrong people, getting involved within the wrong crowd, doing stupid things, and really doing a lot of things that I don't know if I necessarily regret, because if I didn't experience those things, I would always wonder, like, what if I never did this? What if I never did that? And, you know, thankfully, right, it was kind of a blessing in disguise because I knew that path, it was just not fulfilling. It was not righteous. It was not the path that God wanted for me. I need to learn the hard way, unfortunately, but I did learn at the end of it, right, that path is just not right for me. And, you know, even going back a little bit further, like when my porn addiction was at its worst, at my peak worst state, you know, I always had this thought of I'm unfulfilled deep down inside. And I would say to myself within my head sometimes, but like I would kind of be blinded by the world and all these things that the world gives you, right? And I would kind of be distracted for a while and then never really think about it. But I'd have a lot of thoughts that would come into my mind and, you know, kind of pull me into the state of like, I'm unfulfilled. Like, why is life like this? You know what I mean? Like, is life like this for every single person? You know, am I always going to have like this deep down feeling inside that I'm never going to be happy? And that's what I felt like when I watched, you know, pornography, masturbation, and I was really living in the world and I was, you know, doing the things that weren't godly, right? Doing the things that weren't in God's will for us. And, you know, going back to that version of myself when I was still the pornography and masturbation, like I struggled with social anxiety. I struggled with, you know, a lot of addictions. I struggled with confidence. I struggled with being happy, being fulfilled, you know, and I really just kept on thinking to myself, like, there's gotta be more, there's gotta be more, there's gotta be more. And it was around 2 years ago where I decided to start quitting pornography and masturbation because I reflected to myself and I told myself, like, what needs to go away if I want to get this feeling away? Because I just got to a point where I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like I needed to know the truth. I knew that there was more to life than just living and doing what the world tells you to do. And I wanted to pursue that. And I wanted to pursue that truth. So 2 years ago, I went ahead and told myself, man, if I want to go through this transformation and become the best version of myself and truly find fulfillment within life, porn and masturbation needs to absolutely go. And mind you, this was before I was even a Christian. This was before I even really believed in God. And I knew that I need to get rid of pornography and masturbation, which is crazy because a lot of people think, oh, quitting porn and masturbation is only for religious people, you know what I mean? Only for people who believe in God. Why would anyone do that if it's not for religious reasons? And I actually did it because it wasn't for religious reasons. It just drove me insane, right? And I wanted to find fulfillment in life. So I made a commitment to myself that I was going to quit pornography and masturbation. And around this time, I started eating healthy. Around this time, I started going to the gym more and really going after my self-improvement journey and doing some things that were just kind of sketch, you know what I mean? But I thought in that present moment that were the best things for me to do. I would do things like astral projection. I would do things like tarot cards, fortune telling, and really thinking to myself, like, this is the path that I'm supposed to be in. This is, you know, true fulfillment. This is why, you know what I mean? I would tell myself my spirit angels like led me to this. I don't even know what I was thinking at that time. I was so stupid. Like, I was actually vegan at that time. I don't think I've ever shared that publicly, right, to other people on the internet. And was going after like crystals, horoscopes, and like just random things that the enemy tries to fool you with to make you believe that you're on the right path, but really like you're just so astray from God. It's crazy. And I kept on pursuing those things, and eventually, you know, within my path to being free from PMO, I actually made it like, I think 6 months free from PMO. My life absolutely changed. You know, I became a lot happier. I became a lot more, you know, that feeling of unfulfillment kind of went away a little bit, and like my social anxiety disappeared. My confidence shot back up. My mental health was better. My brain fog was better, right? And there was still a little bit of like unfulfillment from my end. I'm like, there's something more here, man. Like, there's still something more here, but I know I'm in the right direction. So I went ahead and quit PMO. I went ahead and started doing all these other like weird, crazy things. And yeah, my life just became a whole lot better. And it was around this time, right? 6 months, 7 months PMO free, that my friend actually introduced me to his Bible study. And I found out about the faith, and at first I was like, oh, like maybe this is something interesting. Like, I kind of align with some of the values that these guys have, so, you know, might as well get into it. And we can go into that in another video as well about how, you know, I found the faith in my testimony and whatnot, but I completely ran with it. And yeah, man, like my life has never been the same ever since I started following the biblical principles and the commandments and the things that Jesus has in place for us, the rules, or not, I don't want to say rules, but just the things that he wants us for us to do to live a righteous life and truly live the best version that we possibly, or to truly be the best version of ourselves that we possibly can. Keeping all that in mind, right? And my life has, ever since then, right, 7 months PMO free, we're at right now. 1 year PMO free, like my life has changed. 2 years PMO free, my life has changed. And to be honest, like I don't really feel like it can get much better than what it is right now, living the life that God has in store for me. And I think a lot of people get blinded by this misconception of, you know, if I don't have lust in my life, if I don't have sex in my life, if I don't have porn in my life, and I don't have masturbation, like life is kind of pointless because there's no reward. There's no pleasure. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, how can you live like that? You know what I mean? Like, there's just no pleasure. Like, you got to let loose sometimes. Like, that's what people would tell me. And it's just crazy because they don't really know. They don't really deep down inside know how much pleasure you get from actually abstaining from pornography and masturbation and doing the things that the world actually tells you to not do, which I think is crazy. To wrap it up, right, I could go on tangents and stuff like that, but to wrap it up, was it worth it going 900 days free from pornography, masturbation, and sex? And I would say yes, not because of like abstaining, not because of like the so-and-so called benefits, just realizing that life is just more than lust. Life is just more than sex. Life is more than porn. Life is more than masturbation. And God just has so much more planned for us than we even think to imagine. And I have this verse right here that I was actually reading this morning, which is crazy. I didn't actually even know I was going to record this until a little bit later, but Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and future." And it's very clear within the Bible that porn and masturbation, having sex outside of marriage, is not something that we need to be doing. And I think we try to live life according to our own beliefs, according to the things that we want to do, way more than, you know, following the commandments that God has for us. And because of that, we live life unfulfilled. And there's always, you know, trying to search for more. You're always trying to search for more. And if you truly live in accordance to God's will, like life is just going to be so much better. And trust me, like I've done it all, guys. Like I've done it all. And this is by far the best life that you can ever have. And it's not even close. It's like not even comprehendibly close. So was it worth it? I'd say 100%. And if there's anybody out there in doubts and saying like, oh, like, I don't know if I should really quit pornography. I don't know if I should quit masturbation. Like, dude, you don't know what pleasure is. You don't know what true fulfillment is. Because pornography and masturbation can give you that a little bit of fulfillment, a little bit of pleasure, but you don't even know what pleasure is. You don't know what fulfillment is. Like, you don't. And I want to encourage you to go through the struggle, because at first it's going to suck. but anything that's worth doing is going to be hard. And Les Brown actually said this: if you do the easy things in life, your life will be hard. But if you do the hard things, your life will be easy. I truly do believe that the harder something is to do, the more fulfillment there is at the end of the tunnel, at the end of the path. And for anyone asking, was it worth it? 100%. I recommend any single person to do it. Do not be blinded by what the enemy tells you, because the enemy is going to always tell you, oh my gosh, like, how can you quit pornography? How can you do these things? How is life going to be enjoyable when you don't have these things within your life? And again, like, if you think to yourself those things and you start to convince yourself that that's true, like, you don't know fulfillment within life. Like, you don't know pleasure within life. And I say that in a good way, because there's just so much more in store for you that you don't even know that's even possible and imaginable. So I want to encourage you guys within that. Continue going on your porn-free journey, continue going on your lust-free journey, and continue crushing it, guys. If you're having trouble on your porn-free journey, please click the link in my bio. I went ahead and recorded around like a 15-minute video on how to quit pornography and masturbation for the rest of your life, and how to just quit in 14 days. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that video in the description and the link to that video down in the description below. So go ahead and click on it, and I'll go ahead and see you guys there. It's gonna be absolutely a game changer for you if you're serious about actually quitting this for good. And if you're telling yourself, oh, I don't wanna watch a 15-minute video on how to quit, I'm gonna argue that you don't have what it takes to actually quit this addiction for good. So for those that are serious and you actually want to quit and go the rest of your life without it, go ahead and click on that video down below. I'll go ahead and see you there, and grab a pen and paper for that, because it's going to be really, really good. But aside from that, guys, go ahead, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I'll go ahead and see you in the next video.